On this episode of Claws Up, Bear Down, we're joined today by the Burbfather, who went viral twice this week with Bears-related and Chicago culture-related content. We break down his viral videos, recap the Bears versus Rams game, and then we dive into classic Chicago debates every fan has opinion on. Without further ado, the Burbfather, Rick Lorero. What's going on, Burbfather?
What's up? What's up, baby?
You're busy man, dude. Busy man. How did you come up with the Burbfather?
I started the page doing mortgage stuff. I'm a mortgage lender. I realized very quickly no one wants to hear about that all day. I'd help a lot of people move from the city to the burbs, like our age range, starting to have a family, get out to the burbs. And I like to help the clients make an offer they can't refuse. So Burbfather it was. Thought it was fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah, it's not as fun as mortgage rates, obviously, but I do think that the Burbfather is a great gimmick, and I do really like how you're able to blend in your family life with it. I have not done much of that, blending in my daughter into my content yet. We're working on the wifey about that. You had two viral videos this week. The first one is the silent reaction that went mega viral as far as I'm concerned, 3 million views, and it got you a bunch of national content. How did that one really come about?
Yeah, so just to lay the groundwork of that night. So my wife had a birthday party. She was in the city. I had all 5 kids by myself. So needless to say, that was a reckless night. I finally got him down about halftime. You get one, he's going in bed, he opens the door, pops himself back out, yada, yada, and then multiply that times 4 plus the baby. But they finally went down, perfect timing, fourth quarter, I was able to focus. I wasn't sitting down, I'm pacing behind the couch the whole time. Very stressful time, as we all know. And, it starts to get to the nitty gritty there. And I'm like, dude, this could be funny. I'm trying to put it on my couch, put it on the back of my couch and stuff, and just stand it up. I'm freaking out. The game's happening. And then I just pressed record, put it on the 0.5 on the camera, put it on the couch, hoping it would get the room, and just let it rip, man. And it was crazy. And then I posted it right after the game, I think. And then by noon the next day, it had 1 million.
It's crazy.
Unreal.
It's crazy. I feel, at least for my content, the stuff that's the most organic is the stuff that goes off. The stuff that I'm not even thinking about doing is the things that go crazy, and I haven't had anything crazy like that. The 1 million views is a wild thing to see, especially with your stuff, because I have been following you from right away. I started about 2 years ago doing the content stuff, which I think similar to what you said, 3 years, right? So you've been in a little bit longer than I have, but we know each other of each other from the wrestling world. So it's cool to have been following along. Yeah. And with the Bear reaction stuff, the Bears season's been so magical that it's been electric for content. It's been pretty easy in the sense of things have just been going really well. So to see you go with 3 million views was insane. And such a funny thing, because I think your content, the reason why it resonates so well is that it's so relatable. All of my content is all Bears related stuff. I don't dive into being a dad very much, but your content's so relatable because of all how you blend the dad stuff. And I think that's why that video resonates with so many people, because we've all been there. If you're a dad, you've had the experience of trying to stay quiet while you're trying to do something awesome or watch something awesome. You end up going on with the national media just kind of catches on. You hit 1 million views. When does it start? So that's crazy, because I know what it looks like on my phone when I get to 50K views and then 100. What does it feel like when you're getting 1 million? What are the notifications like?
It's bonkers. The notifications max out. I think it's 99 of each, and it's just going bonkers. So you're just refreshing that. I try to respond to comments as much as I can. But once it gets to a certain point, there's nothing you can do. And then it was about me worrying about missing something in the messages.
Sure.
ESPN DMing me, Barstool, Good Morning America, local reporters, and then the Shield at the end. The NFL slid into my DMs. Crazy. I just was really scared about missing something. If you're not following them, it's in that other request message thing,
The NFL slides in, they post your video, right? Who else has Barstool's posted your video?
Barstool put it on TikTok, ESPN, the regular ESPN put it on their page. NFL put it on their Instagram page.
So
Yeah, I
awesome.
was on Get Up with Greeny and everybody. That was a really cool one.
What's been your favorite reaction so far out of the kind of national media?
I think the ESPN's cool. Damian Woody telling, we're bigger guys, claws,
Yeah,
but we're still working out. We're still getting
sure.
under the squat rack a little bit.
Yeah,
Damian Woody says, you can tell he squats a lot. That was nice. I didn't get to see it until like late last night because we were at the game. But I mean, the piece that they put on in the pregame show was super cool. We got Owen in there too. So they
that's
came to my
great.
NBC came to my house, set up a studio in the living room, same place that all went down. That'll be one for the Loera family archives forever. It'll be amazing.
That is awesome. I didn't know that. I was at the game yesterday, so I
Yeah.
haven't been able to watch any of the pre-game stuff, anything like that, but I will definitely go make sure I go check it out. I love that Greedy's saying that you're your favorite person of all time. Like everyone in our age demo, right? The older millennials at this point, like Greeny's the man.
Right.
We still have a warm spot in our heart for Greeny, so that's so super cool. And then you follow it up with the Malört video, which is just like a running Chicago joke, and there are people out there that think it's the greatest thing, and they lie through their teeth. I think Malört's disgusting. I want nothing to do with Malört. So how did that video come about?
Yeah, so like you said, my stuff, it's not planned. It's when it pops up, man, I'm ripping it and that's it. So I got to figure that out probably to be more consistent, but I go in kind of like peaks and valleys when I'm just feeling it. Like right now, we're feeling it right over here in the Burbfather
100%.
area. I bought the Malört. I wanted to give it to Rams fans at the tailgate, and I just had it. I bought it to get ready for the food for the tailgate. It just popped into my head, and like I'm doing it. We're going to my niece's birthday party. We're rushed to get in the van. We got all the kids in the van. I ran back in the house, did like 3 takes, and hit one, and then
Perfect.
launched it. It was crazy.
So crazy. Yeah, I know. I feel like sometimes with content, obviously I haven't gone viral, but like now it's pretty consistent where I know when I got a winner, at least
Yeah,
like it's gonna do well. And sometimes it feels like you're just shooting at a hula hoop. I know that this is gonna hit and we're just gonna run with it. I feel the same way with the creativity, the peaks and valleys, and the consistency. As I kind of go into this YouTube world and continue to try to do it, it has to be more consistent, which is different than social. Social needs the hit. It's
right.
a little bit different where YouTube is it's the consistency. You got to keep moving up. But it's super cool to see you just have the success and get after it because it gives the wrestlers in us a lot of hope. You and I were texting before the show and we are like, we got to grind on YouTube. And you're like, we're built for it. I'm like, yes, yes, we are. We are built for it. We will grind for it. So I want to transition into the Bears game a little bit here and just a couple takeaways about what we thought happened. We were both there, both in person. I thought the atmosphere was awesome. I didn't realize going in the game it was going to be snowing. I didn't know until we
Yeah,
started walking there. I wasn't paying
same.
attention. I knew it was going to be cold, and I know what I have to wear when it's going to be cold, and I had all that planned out. So I don't look at the forecast anymore. Once I know it's bad, I'm just get the mindset. You're going to be ready. It's all right. You're going to be fine. It's only a couple hours. And then it starts snowing, and then you're like, man, this is setting up for perfect bear weather, and it was a really cool scene the whole time. What were your general takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I think first of all, the defense. I feel like the offense has been bailing out the defense a little this year, but it was the other way around this time. So I was impressed with how they stepped it up. The weather helped, but you got to stop these guys. Puka is almost an unstoppable force with Stafford. So that was really cool to see. The sacks, they got the pressures. I think Brisker had that one series where he stopped all 3 plays. He had a sack, I don't know what it was, but so the defense was good. I was happy that the offense started with a good drive. They didn't finish the damn thing. At least they made their way down the field, which hasn't been the case lately. It was fun. It was a close game the whole way through. We weren't sitting down 18 or what have you. It sucks so bad, man. But
It does.
what a ride! What a ride!
What a ride. And I agree with you. I was very pleasantly surprised with the defensive game plan, and it felt that they were executing at a high level early on the game, able to get to the fourth down and punts. I thought that was a huge key to the Packers game, getting to that point. And the Bears never really got that going into the second half, but the Rams game, they were able to find ways to get off the field without
Yeah,
takeaways. The takeaways can be a little gimmicky, just like in the right place, the right time, where the defensive pressures to be able to get them into those fourth down situations where they have to punt is huge, and they were able to do that. Yeah, and I was very pleasantly surprised because it's been such an offensive dominated team
Right.
all season long. That was great to see, and to have 4 sacks on Matthew Stafford, and he stands back there like a statue. But they were able to throw the kitchen sink at him, and he wasn't able to catch it. What do you think about like Ben Johnson's consistent aggressiveness on 4th down specifically, and not taking the points and getting the field goals?
Tough. I think I like it. I'm an aggressive guy by nature as well. I think, there's situations, there's experience that you don't know what it's gonna be like till you're there. And one of those is being a head coach in the NFC divisional playoff game, going against Sean McVay, who, has won a Lombardi, a tremendous coach and great experience. I like it generally. It's tough to see that. It's tough because I also don't want to be like the Lions and blow the NFC championship game down the road like that. I think he's going to grow as a coach too. He'll learn a little more nuance. And at the beginning of the game, I don't know. I was thinking we got to go because field goals aren't going to cut it. I was expecting more of a shootout. I wasn't expecting the phenomenal defensive performance. I kind of felt with it there, but I think he'll learn. He'll learn.
I think that this is rookie head coaching stuff. I
Right.
think that the aggressiveness is fun to a degree, and then
Yeah.
sometimes, to use a wrestling analogy, you don't need feet to back. You just need to go ahead and get your takedown, and
Right.
they just need to score points. So you got to
Right.
put points on the board, especially in the playoffs, and we have to see them be willing to take those points. So there are a couple opportunities. I love the aggressiveness to an extent, but when it's
Yeah.
time to score points, you kick one field goal in that game, and we're not in overtime. We're winning on that Hail Mary type play. And
Yeah.
that's a completely different feeling. And so hindsight's always 2020. There were opportunities that were left of the field because of his ultra aggressiveness that might have hurt them. And in the
Yeah.
long run, he's going to have to learn from this being a rookie head coach. He has
Exactly.
done a wonderful job all season long, and he has far exceeded expectations. The beginning of the season, if you would have said that the Bears would be NFC North champions, they would beat the Packers, and then they'd have a home game against the Rams, and then they would have the ball with the chance to win in overtime to go to the NFC title game, I would take that 10 out of 10 times. And
Man,
it didn't turn
real
out. And one of the things I think about his aggressiveness is you are either going to be always aggressive or you're not going to be aggressive. I think it's you have to pick your spots, but I would like him to kind of find a lane. And that brings me to, should he have gone for it for 2 after that Hail Mary? And so he was aggressive all game long. And when you have a chance at home to end the game with still time on the clock, so you could have got an onside kick, it might have not ended it. You don't go for 2, you go for the extra point. What do you think, Burbfather, about that call about not going for it?
I saw his press conference after. None of the short yardage stuff was working yesterday. They couldn't run the ball at all, which was crazy. So, and that's what he said. He said, our short yardage stuff hadn't been working. We figured we'd stretch it out. I actually agree with that. Different situations. When else could we go to 3? If we would have scored the touchdown in Lambeau, that you go for 2. It's away game. Let's throw the harpoon in them right away.
Mm-hmm.
I think here, nothing was working short, man.
Maybe the personnel changes. I just wish
Yeah.
that hindsight again. I think if you're going to be the ultra aggressive guy, then let's go full board into it
Yeah.
and let's be
Yeah.
that man. Don't change up in the playoffs. And so at home, I get it. You play for overtime, but man, you are underdog at home. It is the MVP on the other side. You have done a great job. Their players just ran around for 50 yards chasing Caleb Williams.
True.
The adrenaline's pumping. Go ahead, go for it. Go for that 2-point. Overtime, little bit of controversy. The Bears fans, myself included, have been on DJ Moore about his lack of effort at times. He has had some spectacular catches and plays. Yesterday, he had a one-handed catch that I don't know if
Unbelievable.
anyone else could make on the team. OT, when we needed him the most to run hard, it looks like that the interception might be on him. Now, what do you think happened on that play? Do you think it's more Caleb's fault or do you think it's DJ's fault?
I think it's DJ's fault. I don't know. And I don't know if it's DJ's fault in the play or they weren't communicating enough on the play before, or like, does he understand the concept of what he needed to do there? He's not running. The ball was there. If he cuts it, what is it called? Shallower. and
Yeah, it's
to
tough.
talk
And then
about.
they talked about like inside leverage, right? So the
Yeah,
safety has it. I'm not an X's and O guy. I have to go find external knowledge for this stuff and look this up.
yeah,
But what they're saying essentially is that Kurt Warner said it, and so did Chase Daniels. It's supposed to be a shallower route, and he's supposed to have inside leverage on that safety and then cut inside. Throws the inside shallow route. DJ Moore jogs it out thinking he's not going to get the ball, ends up being a pick. At least you got to help out your quarterback in that situation. My guess is that they're probably both involved in part of the issue in that regard. But I just think that DJ Moore has been this guy the whole time. So I'm not remotely surprised that in the biggest moment, he's able to not perform when necessary because when he thinks he's not getting the ball or he's not wide receiver one on a call, he's jogging. So this isn't surprising to me at all that we're having this type of discussion this way in the game. And I think that DJ Moore can be a cat that they look at to move for a defensive end at some point in the future. So
yeah.
we'll see about DJ Moore, but it's enough for me, to be honest. And I wouldn't be crying if he's traded in the offseason.
Yeah, it's not the first time, like you're saying, so I agree. I think another one I heard was just Caleb being that aggressive in OT.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we saw Stafford just slowly march his way down for the field goal. So that's a thought too, but Caleb's he's the man. He's gonna go for it. We've seen it time and time again when he torpedoes Green Bay. He's gonna go for the jugular when he sees it's there. That's what we want in Chicago. It could have been there, just didn't come together.
So let's move the conversation to Caleb Williams here and talk about his playoff readiness because Caleb's final stats end up going 4 touchdowns and 5 picks in the playoffs. And when you see that stat, it looks pretty bad. But I was at both the games and it didn't feel bad. It didn't feel as bad as that sounds because it's 2 electric touchdown passes. It's a 4th and 8 against the Green Bay Packers to save the
Yeah.
season. It's a 30-yard scramble yesterday to put them in position. We were talking about Stafford and talking about the Rams. The Rams didn't make any mistakes, and I feel like the Bears made mistakes. How do you think that Caleb Williams really played throughout the playoffs? And do you think he was ready to roll to be the Bears quarterback in that situation?
Bottom line, you're doing playoff football at the highest level, at any level. It doesn't matter. You win or you lose. Who cares what happens? He won the first game. We beat the Packers somehow. This one, he was in
Yep.
position to win. You look at the stats, like that first pick, actually, it was better for us that the guy intercepted it. And I think that happened in Green Bay too.
It did. It
So,
almost felt like a punt.
right. So 2 of those, who cares? It actually was better for us. We're in position to win these games. I think Caleb's just something different too, though. You hear people all season talking about, oh, his completions percentage bad. Well, he's going to do 2 plays in this game. They're going to be game-changing plays that only 1 or 2 people on the planet or in the history of the human race can even do. I'll take the 58 whatever completion percentage to see 2 strokes of evolution of the human body to a perfect quarterback and just enjoy the beauty of that plays that he puts out there. It's awesome, man. It's so fun, and I think the stats don't tell the whole story.
I agree with you. I don't believe the stats tell the whole story. And I think that they are trying to start to change the game. That him and Ben Johnson are playing a different game than everyone else is. I think this is just the first step in that evolution of quarterback play. I think the best sport to sport comp is a Steph Curry. I keep hearing this analogy a lot, and I kind of agree. Would you rather be a Steph Curry who, instead of shooting 70% from a 2-point range, he shoots 35% from threes? And that's kind of what Caleb is. Caleb isn't worried about like dinking and dunking. Caleb's worried about big explosive plays. He's a big game hunter. He's trying to get plays down the field.
Right.
And if that comes at the cost of not having a high completion percentage, which he doesn't, but it ends up being these miraculous plays and throws where he's able to push the ball down the field. He's able to make big, awesome plays.
Yeah.
I think I will take it. And I think this dude is built for Chicago. I think he has the flair that Chicago wants and the toughness to be gritty. And he's just eccentric enough that we will fully embrace him. I mean, my nails are off, but I did it. First time in my entire life. I went out, I painted my nails. My wife did it. She did an awesome job. Set Bear down, and I had a blast while we were doing it. And I would have never done that without Caleb Williams. So I appreciate that part of him, just being him. And I tried matcha yesterday. I'm out of my comfort zone here.
I did the matcha over the weekend too. Not bad. Not
Yeah,
bad.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm
I
normally
got the
very
wired
authentic.
headphones too, baby. I'm
This is
walking into the office fully Caleb, ready to go kill.
That's perfect. I got the wired headphones on here, so I think that counts for me. But do you think, let's move on to some optimism here. Do you think this is the most fun season we've had as Bears fans in our lifetime?
Great question, man. Definitely different from me. I'm a defensive guy by nature. So, that last playoff team with Khalil Mack, the D line, beautiful thing to see. I love that. But just the fact of somehow being in every game, having a team believe in each other, when like, young in our athletic careers, we're chasing national titles. You might win, you might lose, but you want those people to remember that you're wrestling it, you're gonna battle them until there's no time on the clock. The Rams remember what it was like to play this game.
Mhm.
The Green Bay Packers they're probably gonna be wearing diapers to the next game. Their minds are jammed,
Yep.
okay? Their team is saying, "Oh my god," going crazy about what Caleb did, okay? So everyone's on notice. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's
Yeah, it is very cool, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the most fun I've had as a
yeah,
Bears fan this season. Part of it is being at all the games. I was at every home game this year, including the preseason, and seeing them right away at the preseason game beat the ass of Buffalo Bills, as wild as that sounds, all that time ago. But they had a crazy game, and then they lost the first game at home, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Then you get blown out in Detroit, and then all of a sudden you kind of they just figured it out, and they had some epic wild games with Caleb Williams having
unbelievable.
some of the throws of the NFL history, like the throw that Colson Loveland in Cincinnati to win the game. That's probably like on his best throws of the year is like probably like
Yeah,
number 10. It's not
yeah,
even like in the top 5. And that throw is insane in the middle of the field to win the games. And being in every game tight and having a
yeah,
chance to win. And literally every game down the stretch, except there's 2 games really that stand out. They weren't like that. Baltimore and then Detroit. Every other game, they're in it to the last play. So much fun, so exciting. Such a great team to root for. So I'm going to go ahead and say for me, it is the most fun. Even the playoff, even the Super Bowl run, it was my senior year of high school. I love Brian Urlacher with all my heart and Devin Hester and all that. And that was great. But the offensive side was boring, like they had
yeah,
some fun stuff that happened, but it was a defensive and special teams game and a little bit different. And then they end up getting blown out right in the Super Bowl, which was
yeah.
a bummer. For me, this is definitely the most fun. Let's move on to some Chicago culture stuff. We talked about Malört. Where do you think this next stadium should be? The Bears have been rumored to be they have land in Arlington Heights. They have the Chicago land. They've talked about destroying the South lot. And now they're talking about moving to Indiana. I have some very strong thoughts about Indiana. What do you think? Where do you think they should be, Burbfather?
This is tough, man. The main thing, I'm digressing a little bit. The main thing that makes me sad, and we had a couple father-son people in our tailgate group where the kids were like 12 years old, cold weather games, some of my favorite memories with my dad going to games. So if the dome, no matter where it is, they put a dome on it, that just hurts me to the
Mm-hmm.
core. And we don't get advantages like we did yesterday. I'm a little biased, Claus. I live in Park Ridge. I'm a block from the Metro line, and I will be 5 stops from Arlington Heights
Wow.
on the Metro line. They bought the land. I'd at least want it to stay in Illinois, go to Arlington Heights.
It's a tough spot to be in, and honestly, for me, I'm the opposite. If it goes to Indiana, it's better for me.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
20-minute drive from the casino they're talking about, the Hard Rock Casino. It's super close here, the south suburbs, but I don't want it to leave Illinois borders. I don't even care if it was a minute away from me, but in Indiana, I don't want it in Indiana.
yeah,
It's the pride and joy of Illinois. It's in the damn song.
yeah,
You
there you
keep it in
go. I never
Illinois.
thought of
You
that.
keep it in
Yeah.
Illinois. You could go back to Decatur. I'd rather be 4 hours away than to be in Indiana, and I will stand by that. I had to answer that damn season ticket holder survey, and these PSL prices they're talking about is absolutely out of control. The common working man that goes to these games and has a couple LITEs and they have a great time and then they tailgate in the South lot, that's gone,
Yeah.
regardless of where they're going. And that part's really sad. And so I've gone full circle and I've gone all the way back to just stay in Soldier Field. Because this talk of Indiana, especially with how they're going to go ahead and go full court press on this thing, my gut is telling me right now that Indiana is a real player, a big issue for the state of Illinois getting them. I would like to just stay in Illinois.
With, the Chiefs flipping over the border.
For sure. And this I have no control of it, but I'm still gonna be emotionally mad if they go to Indiana.
100%. 100%.
All right. Deep conversations here. Deep dish or tavern-style pizza?
Tavern, they're just different things. They're
Yeah.
just different things.
Okay.
So,
I'm a deep dish guy, and I will take a deep dish. Do you think though this like thing that comes up now that deep dish is just for tourists? Do you think this is a real thing?
no, no, not at all. I was a manager for Lou Malnati's for 4 years, actually. So I
Okay.
ran
All right.
the Buffalo Grove store, the store in River North on Wells. They do a great job. They do everything the right way. Full disclosure, I'm gonna get a deep dish. I'm gonna get a tavern. Tavern's like a little snack before we sit down, a little
Mhm.
bit afterwards, just a little
Mhm.
grazing material, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. You get always get a little medium on the side, switch it up. My mom's always
Yeah,
wants like a supreme type pizza. She always wants mushrooms on the little tavern style pizza
yeah.
next to the deep dish. What do you think about what's the best pizza joint in Chicago?
The main spot for our family is Pizza Boy, Edison Park.
Okay, okay. Never been to
They
Pizza
got it
Boy.
they got it both. They got both. They got the deep dish, they got the thin, they got a good Detroit too. Oh, but the Detroit, it's another grazer. Well, it's not anything, but the crust on that thing, it's like a Pequod's somehow. They do it just like Pequod's where it's caramelized on the outside.
It's a
So
fancy thing.
it's just great. It's
That is
beautiful.
great. The Giordano's on Chicago Avenue in Oak Park
Mhm.
produces the most delicious pizza in all of Chicagoland, and I will die on that sword. I love that pizza. Pepperoni pizza and a Giordano's stuffed pizza. It's not just necessarily deep dish, it is a stuffed pizza because they
Mhm.
go ahead and they put the extra layer of dough on top, but it is a wonderful pizza. And then that pepperoni, full layer of pepperoni, fancy,
Oof.
fancy, fancy, just like Lou Malnati's does the sausage on the bottom. Giordano's does the pepperoni. Fantastic.
Yeah, it depends how I'm feeling. If I got the acid reflux, I gotta stay away from Lou's. The tomatoes, you got a little more of the acidity.
Yes.
Giordano's a little
Yes.
sweet. You gotta play to your strengths, see how you're feeling that day.
You are the Burbfather. What's the best suburb? And I think I know where you're gonna go with this, but let me hear it. What's the best suburb?
Now, I help people all over the place, but
Okay.
I love Park Ridge. We moved here when I was 12. A lot of us are back. It's great. It's just a great community, but they're all like that, right? Where
Yep.
everybody lives. So I just think in general, Chicago, Chicagoland suburbs, we're the best people in the world. And you have your small little units, whether it's a neighborhood in Chicago or a small town like Park Ridge, and but we all come together in the end.
100%.
That's my
100%.
political answer.
All right. I like it. I like it. We got to sell houses out here. You know what I mean? You got to sell some houses. If you need a mortgage guy, we got a guy. Yeah, I think I love where I'm from. I'm from Oak Park. I'm just priced out, to be frank. Now I'm in the south suburbs and I love it down here in the south suburbs. Great people down here, a lot of great food, undercover little spots down here, which I was nervous about. Oak Park has some wonderful mom and pop spots. And down
Hmm.
here, there's a lot of corporate places, but you have every corporate place, which is perfect. So anyone you
Hmm.
want, I got it. I got it. I know where it is. And then we got the little mom and pops down here. I love it down here on the south side, but love the south suburbs. If someone's moving to Chicago, what's one thing they should know immediately?
Chicago has transfer taxes, and most of the suburbs don't. Save a little bit of money. Go out to the burbs.
Always selling. Love that, Burbfather. I love it. I love it. Chicago, for whatever reason, nationwide has some negativity, but like if you talk to people who live here, for the most part, it's really positive. I love being from here. I love living here. I love being a part of this community. The Chicago Bears really incorporated all of that this season, and to see all the orange and blue hanging out, and I hope it doesn't stop. I know you're back in your orange. I wore my Chicago Bears stuff today. I do not care. I will continue to wear my Chicago Bears stuff because I'm super proud of being from here. I'm super proud of this team this year. But what's next for the Burbfather?
Man, I wish the football season was a few weeks longer. We're gonna find some more fun stuff to post about. I am gonna work on a YouTube channel like this beautiful channel here and focusing, I guess, my content. We're always gonna be funny. I want to help out local businesses, help out people in the community more than
Perfect.
this year.
Perfect. Yeah, I might have a client for you. My brother's looking, so I've been trying to say I got a guy.
There you
So
go.
I'm gonna might slide his information to you here soon. Where can we find your content?
Instagram, the Burbfather. I'm on TikTok as well. I just started on TikTok a couple months ago, but Instagram's the main hub right now.
Go ahead and comment below whether you like deep dish or tavern style pizza the best. The Burbfather said tavern style. I said deep dish. I love them both. We both love them both, but that would be my preferred choice. If you like content like this, go ahead and subscribe to Claws Up, Bear Down, where we lock into all things Chicago football. And today, Chicago culture, which is a nice little culture mix here. This has been Claws Up, Bear Down. I am your host, Claws. Burbfather, thank you for coming out and hanging out today. Claws up, bear down.